out. Get down in the car. One time give it up. Bust it open hard. Let me see you drop.
So, today we've picked the perfect weather for fitting the tow bar to the Octavia. Luckily, in the last 6 months, someone decided that they needed a garage. So the car should be dry. It might be cold in there. I'm not really sure. I've had the heater on since 7 o'clock in there, so should be all right. The car's still wet and still got snow on it from yesterday. But here we are. We've got to get that tow bar in there on the back of here. And from what I've been made aware, the bumper's got to come off. So we'll see what we can do. Get some lights on here. Little heater pumping out the warmth, drying out the floor. Oh, that is nice. So, I suppose we'd best make a start, really. Right, let's have a quick heater check. How much diesel we've got left? Pretty much none. That's the sound. And I know that the jerry can's empty as well. So, we're just going to have to work with what we've got today. If it does get too cold, I am going to go and fetch some more diesel. Fill it back up, get it underway. I suppose I'd best unlock it and get it started. I've took the whole arch lining out, which has given me a lot more access. I've took this panel out here. They're all held in with T20 Torx. There's one T20 Torx. Let me get the torch. It goes through that hole there. It goes through there on both sides. And then you can just pull the bumper out. We've got clips up here. I've took the rear lights out, which involve popping a cover off on the inside here, pulling it towards you, pulling it away from the light. Then you've got 2 screws and 2 clips. You have to be careful not to snap them off. I've removed them with a trim tool. Same on this side. Same again, we've got a hole there, and then a hole on the inside where they go through. All T25 Torx. So, what I'm going to do now is show you a little trick to getting these clips to stay where you need them to, because I've had so many fights with clips like these. Can't see them. Clips like these, where you have to push them down and get them to stay down, because otherwise they lock back in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push the clip down, he says. Well, maybe he's not. Wow, they're tight. Maybe if I get the trim tool, trusty trim tool, saves scratching everything. Because normally what I would do is where I'd push that down and then slide a cable tie into it, so it gives it like a smooth path, a bit of a guide to lift it out. But I'm gonna put the camera down and just try a nice simple lift up of this bit and pull it and see how it goes. So I tried simply giving it a pull and it didn't work, but I managed to push it back in, and I pushed it back in and then managed to get the little pointy tool on there to push it, lift the bumper up effectively. And now I've slid a cable tie through it and out the back, and the same on this one. Now I'm hoping I should just be able to pull that and it'll come off. Watch and learn how not to do it. God, I'm so nearly there. No, doesn't work. But I also need to be very careful, because where I'm pulling this part of the bumper, it started to split a little bit there, and I don't want to ruin the bumper, so I'm going to try a different plan. I've just been to make a cup of tea, Mighty Car Mods mug. Watched a guy, and he literally pushes that down with a screwdriver and then pulls the bumper, and it does come off. So we'll try again, shall we? So push down the clip, pull the bumper, same again, push again a little bit, he says. Well, isn't that easier? We should have tried that to start with. So, same again over here. And then I'll double check what's underneath, because I've got parking sensors. I think I need to disconnect them from underneath before I do anything else now, just so it doesn't drop out and pull all the cables and damage them. Made a bit of a discovery after disconnecting the first parking sensor, that they actually, I say they, Vag Group put a bung in the back which is on a quick release connector, so you just unclip it, push the bung out of the car, push the cable out, slide the whole thing off in one piece. Happy days. So now it's time to figure out where all of this goes on the back of there, and I think I've got to cut the bumper somewhere as well to fit the tow bar in. Should look like this. Right, actually, let me get torch So we're to a point now that we've got the bolts in and torqued up to spec. I've got these brackets on for sensors, but I don't think I'm going to need them. These are torqued up to spec here, and this side. This is in through a grommet, nice and tight. Other side torqued up, heat shield back in, exhaust hanger mounted again. I've now got to start looking at electrical drawings because I've got all this here to look at. I've got all of this here, and these, what I'm going to guess at 13 cables, being as I think it's a 13 pin plug. It's going to take some time to read through this because I don't think I want to get it wrong and take it apart again. I'd like to get it right first time. Yeah, and hopefully it all goes well. I'll get it coded into the car a bit later on. But for now, I suppose I best do some reading of electrical stuff. From where I last left off, some of you eagle-eyed viewers will notice I'm wearing different clothes, and now the car is immaculate. Some of the items in here have changed position, and that's because I got tied up in the wiring, which personally I found a little bit challenging, but it's all sorted now and I've tested it. I have taken the supply from this 12 volt socket here. This is now no longer working, so I took the 12 volt supply there, used all the connectors that the kit was supplied with to attach all the wires to the plug, and then reverse order, put everything back on and back in, and it's all good. So as you can see, we now have a detachable tow bar, which you put the key in here, turn it, twist it, and the whole thing drops out. We've got the plug just here, and I believe, don't know if you'll be able to see this, the horrible hole that I cut in the bottom of this bumper. It does give you the cutout on the inside of the bumper as to where you need to do it, but all I did was drilled 4 holes in the corners and then used a hacksaw blade to cut between those, so it's not the best. My recommendation would be to use a multi-tool to sort that bit out. But what I also want you to notice, when I jacked the car up early, like in the previous video, I opened the boot lid first and jacked this side up, and then the opposite side, and then the boot lid touched the ceiling to a point that I've actually scratched it all the way along. So I'm well aware of what I've done and how I've managed to knacker it up, but it's made of plastic, so I'm not going to worry about it going rusty. Fitting the bumper back on was really easy. The exhaust, I had to lower that down on the back edge to get access to the bolts from this side coming inwards. Luckily the exhaust hanger on the very back of this is bolted directly to the chassis, so you can unbolt it, you don't have to wrestle with those exhaust rubbers. So just dropped it down, put the bolts in, bolted it all back up, got all the clips back in. As you can see, we've got good panel gaps all the way round. I was very particular with that because I don't want it to look like I fitted it. I want it to look like somebody else has done a wonderful job of it. But yeah, there we go. The car's looking all nice and clean. with the private plate on as well.